Personnel recommendation, Mr. Thurman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the board. It gives me great pleasure to recommend Mr. Joshua L. Williams, who has been serving as our interim Executive Director of Facilities Management. I'm proud, thrilled really, to recommend that the interim title be removed and this young man be given the opportunity to lead us in a permanent status. I think that every board member and people in the audience will agree that prior to his service as interim, he's been an outstanding employee, and he's demonstrated a high level of competence and expertise. And I can see, and you can see, that he's elevated the men and women who work with him, and he's elevated this district. I'll give you just a brief background. You all have a resume of Vita in front of you. But I want to just focus on his educational background and other credentials. BS in Construction Engineering and Technology from Florida A&M University, MSM in Project Management from Colorado Technical University, MBA in Operations Management from Colorado Technical University, a DBA in Leadership from Capella University, and best of all, he's a graduate of Southwest DeKalb High School. He's one of our own. And so without further ado, I present him, Mr. Chair, for your consideration and hopefully your approval.
Is there any discussion? Mr. Coleman?
I just have 5 quick questions, Mr. Thurman. I'm kidding. I just wanted to throw in my endorsement for the community who hasn't had an opportunity to interact with Mr. Williams yet. I know from our side, or at least I can speak for myself, you know, he's always been a pleasure to work with. I think you guys have seen in the preceding 4 items, thorough, great communicator, I think works very well with the Board of Education. I've been very impressed so far, and I hope more members of the community get a chance to work with you, but I just think an excellent selection for the position.
Mr. Orson?
Yeah, and I also want to add to that. One of the things I find with Josh, and I've said this to him, is that what is refreshing is that when he actually doesn't know an answer, he doesn't try to just create an answer, right, but really goes back to try to find the real answer to a question. And particularly, I mean, that's a characteristic we need in everybody, but in an area in which we were spending millions and millions of dollars with long-term, very long-term consequences for our system, it is, and one rife with all sorts of potential liability. That is really critical, I think, to your success. And I also appreciate that you try to provide a picture of what is at stake and go beyond just what's on the document if it will really give us a clearer picture of what we're being asked for. And so I also want to add my endorsement. I think you've done a great job as an interim, and we look forward to you being the full-time COO.
Mr. Mayfield, followed by Dr. Marley.
Yeah, I mean, with everything that's said, all I can say really, I guess, is ditto. But I do want to acknowledge not only the professionalism, but the demeanor and their willingness to actually get answers that I think is really important. And not only do I think that the system will be served well by it, but I think the entire county will be. So thank you.
Dr. Marley.
I just want to say, go Rattlers. Even though I didn't graduate from there, but most of my family graduated from Florida A&M, so I have a stake there somewhere. Most certainly the professionalism. The other thing is I love it because, I speak, and when you know what you're talking about and you go in front of a board, that the board doesn't scare you enough because you know what you're coming with. And then if you don't have the information, you don't mind going back and getting it. So just knowing that you know and you know your stuff when you come before the board, it says a lot. And you don't mind standing, and you don't mind looking at each one of us and saying, yeah, I got it all together. So I see that says a lot, your professionalism, your integrity, and all the things that you're doing. I most certainly commend you and the superintendent for making this move. So I'm behind you 100%.
Well, thank you, board members, and Josh, on behalf of the board, I want to personally thank you for selecting DeKalb to work and to serve, and certainly you have our utmost and full support, and of course we know from our actions today that you will know that We can always depend on you, and you can always depend on us. Just let us know how we can help you, and that's all we need, and that's all we ask. At this time, I want to ask, is there any opposition to placing this item on the consent agenda this evening? You made it, man. It will be placed on the consent agenda.